Hello, welcome back. Just went and had a bit of a snack, made myself a coffee. I'm ready to carry on exploring the main market square of Kenabris. And this over here, I'll explain a bit after we do this interaction, but this over here is going to be very important for our playthrough, as we're doing an Azata playthrough at the moment. Raymond. My beloved brother, I admire your zeal, of course, but would you not agree this is hardly the time to be standing guard over a hole that no one will ever emerge from? Or perhaps you're concerned that someone will decide to go for a nighttime stroll and will accidentally fall into it? Such foresight is laudable, but do you really need so many soldiers for such a task? Can't your warriors be put to better use, for instance, fighting demons, or clearing rubble, while the people trapped beneath it might still be alive? The face of this golden curled Asimar is beautiful, even by the standards of his kind. In those veins runs the blood of angels. His melodious voice sounds cheerful, but bitter reproach simmers in his gaze. Don't you dare call me brother, heretic! The signs of recent hard fighting are obvious in this stern old man. His armour is dented and covered in blood, and his unnatural pallor suggests something more dangerous than wounds inflicted by claws and fangs. Nevertheless, his gaze is stony and his voice, accustomed to barking orders, is harsh and clipped. How dare you accuse me of doing nothing to protect this city, especially now, when followers of your temple were caught committing treason? To my mind, you are no different than the demon worshippers, those miscreants, those beasts that are digging under the city walls. Everyone knows, my dearest prelate, that in your zealous pursuit of order in the city, you have long since forgotten how to tell friend from foe, and good from evil. That's what's happened with my adepts. Those acts of treason, whose act of treason was a genuine attempt to save the city. And yet again I am forced to repeat myself. While we are wasting time on pointless quarrels, people are dying under the rubble in our city. People whom we could have saved if you had only sent your soldiers to the task and not kept them here surrounding a useless and utterly harmless hole in the ground. Harmless! Well, if it's on your say-so, then it must mean there's someone down there. Your associates, no doubt. And they're just waiting for us to abandon our posts before they slink out and try again to... The old man notices your approach. And you. I remember you. You appeared in my city the day the demons attacked and Terendelev died. What are you doing here? Answer at once or I'll have you strung up by your ankles before you know it. Don't think that the demons have wounded me. I still have enough strength to take on 100 of your sort. Yeah, this was the nice man who was talking to us when we were wounded at the very beginning. And what is this hideous creature? Holgrim peers at Lan with suspicion. Lan, at your service. The mongrel ducks his head in a bow. My forebears fought in the First Crusade. I've lived in Kenabris my whole life. You haven't ever seen me before? It must be because you don't ever venture into our underground district, and we've been meaning to complain to the city authorities that our paving stones have been in need of repair for a long time. The First Crusade? So you're a mongrel? You obviously know human speech, surprisingly well in fact. Alright, let's be off with you. The prelate looks at you. If he causes any trouble, I shall hold you responsible. Come to think of it, you still haven't told me who you are. I'm a crusader. I'm fighting to liberate Kenabris from the demons. A crusader, you say? I'll be looking into that. You obviously don't know whom you are speaking. I'm the one who decides who's a crusader and who's a traitor in this city. Halran Shapok, prelate of Kenabris by the grace of Her Majesty Queen Galfrey, and the city's defender against threats from within and without. And, as we can see, you've done a sterling job protecting the city. The golden curled Asimar flashes a flinty smile. I am Raymond of Edmay, prior of the Temple of Desna, which, alas, currently lies in ruins. Wise Halran here believes it is vital to guard this hole, from which he is certain demons will emerge at any moment. I've been trying to convince him that the city has far more urgent matters to deal with. For instance, rescuing those currently dying under the rubble. You know what? There may in fact be one matter that is more important than guarding this hole. I've put it off and put it off, and look where it's led us. I should have had you hung from the gates back when you dared to defend your gang of delinquent demon collaborators. If the Sarkorians had hanged Arilu Vorlesh while they had the chance, there would never have even been a war. I won't repeat their mistake. I won't hesitate any longer. Soldiers, seize this scum. Prelate, see reason. These are frightening times, but threatening to hang someone without trial, that is unworthy of a servant of Iomedae. The old man fixes his eyes on Sela. Lest you forget, girl, we may serve the same goddess, but you are not an inquisitor. Don't question the way I choose to serve Iomedae, and I won't question yours. What precisely are you accusing Raymond of, Inquisitor? Angel mythic path. Reveal the light of heaven. Behold, Inquisitor, I bear a gift of the angel who died in the case below Kenabris. I am no enemy of yours. What precisely are you accusing Raymond of, Inquisitor? Treason! Not long before the city was attacked, several followers from his temple tried to secretly access the wardstone and perform an unknown ritual over it. Horan is trembling with fury. The wardstone of Kenabris, the gift from Iomedae, the bringer of light, wrought by the hands of her herald, the first in the chain. The followers of that crazy runt of a goddess tried to meddle with it using their magic, after hearing a voice in their dreams. My soldiers almost had them caught, when Raymond got in the way, allowing the traitors to go to ground. I made a mistake. I didn't have him locked in a cell and interrogated to within an inch of his life, and now the city lies in ruins. It's time to rectify that mistake. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again. My people foresaw an attack on the city. They knew the wardstone already carried the seed of corruption within itself. They were simply trying to heal it. I've heard similar claims before. Now where was it? Ah yes, from Staunton Vane, the traitor who brought down Dresden. The lessons of the past have taught us a great deal, and that is why I never believed you or your mob's lies even for a second. And I was right. Don't lay a finger on him or you'll have to answer to me. The Asamar holds up his hands in a placating gesture. Stop. You are the defenders of what remains of Kenabris. Can't you think of anything better to do than be at each other's throats in the ruins of the city? Raymond looks at the prelate. You're a fool, Holrun. You're a zealot and a murderer, but you're a fool first and foremost. I told you that the wardstone was weakened. You wouldn't listen. I warned you that the city was going to be attacked. You shooed me away. The truth is that my young adepts were trying to save the wardstone, and you stopped them. Of course, those truly responsible for this tragedy are the demons, but you have done nothing to prevent it. And now you would still rather kill an innocent person and perish yourself than admit that you are wrong, as always. With a wave of his hand, the Asamar vanishes. Oh, he's stropping, isn't he? Beast! Heretic! Traitor! He's slipped away again! The prelate stamps his foot in outrage, then turns his eyes on you. What about you? Whose side are you on? If you want me to believe that you're no cultist, go and recapture that traitor for me. Or perhaps you want to defend him. In that case, my soldiers don't need to be told twice. Why are you obsessed with finding enemies everywhere you look? Why? Why? You must not be from these parts, or you wouldn't have asked such a question. I look for enemies everywhere because our enemies are everywhere. Who are we at war with? Demons. Demons and cultists. They are masters of deception. They worm their way into your favour and masquerade in all manner of false guises. Do you think Dresden was taken by force? No, by trickery. Were it not for me, Kenabris would have gone the same way long ago, captured out from under our noses. Now listen to what I'm about to tell you. This was a long time ago. I was very young then, and I had just joined the Crusade. Back then, Kenabris didn't have a garrison so much as a public thoroughfare. Anyone who wanted could just stroll into the city. One day at dawn, a group of refugees came up to the city gates, bold as brass. The guards let them in, and why not? For no one was ever turned away. 'Twas no matter. Everyone was welcome in our city. If you came from Mendev, or if you'd hauled yourself here from across the seas, the Crusade accepted all and sundry. But on this occasion we paid dearly for our laxity. Just as soon as those innocent lambs entered the city, they transformed into demons and rushed towards the wardstone, slaughtering everyone who tried to stop them. 62 people died in less than a minute. The demons used their mutilated corpses to desecrate the obelisk. None of them dared None of them dared to go near it. The light of the goddess burned them all. So they threw the blood from afar, spattering the wardstone from every direction. And the lead demon, an eyeless beast, Minago is her name, jeered and gloated, saying we mortals have been sitting ducks, and the creature was right too. We let our guard down, and we got what we deserved. The bloodbath came to be known as the Red Morning Massacre, and it was burned into the townsfolk's memories. Since then, Kenabris has adopted different practices. Heretics, cultists, spies, all the rabble who coveted our Ilu's glory. We drove them all out of the city. We haven't had any trouble here since. Many have come here, even the Baelor Koramzadan, and they have all been sent straight back to where they came from, or else they were killed for their trouble. You see, Descari himself had to crawl out of the abyss and come here. The goddess cursed him in order to break through our defences. And what did he do? He left again, and we're still fighting. Now that's what vigilance and discipline can do. Raymond really warned you about the attack? Those crazed Desnians were always bursting into my study with their incoherent prophecies that came to them in their dreams. I won't lie, sometimes what they said did come to pass, but can we really rely on the woolly dreams of heretics over the cold, hard facts of intelligence reports? Plenty of demons could have easily fooled them and whispered a treasonous plan in their dreams, and those lunatics would have been only too happy to listen. This time, Mr. Curls-for-Brains came to me and declared that demons were about to attack the city, and that the wardstone's power was diminished by some kind of contamination or taint. Iomade forgive me for even repeating the words. After uttering such blasphemy, he should have been locked up along with his followers and interrogated, but instead I simply increased the surveillance on them. And what next? My people caught them red-handed trying to attack the wardstone with unknown magic, and not 3 days later the demons attacked the city. There's an obvious connection between these events. Whether deliberately or under demonic influence, the Desnans have played right into the hands of the Descari hordes, and they almost left the city completely defenseless. Raymond covered for his people the whole time and helped them escape my guards. After that, what else can he be but a traitor and a heretic? There's nothing dangerous in this hole. You have no reason to guard it. I won't hear another word! Demons are hiding underground. The proof is all around you. The demon spawn that tried to crawl out can't harm anyone now. Wait, you're trying to lure me away from here, aren't you? With narrowed eyes, Horan scanned you from head to toe. Perhaps you are a cultist too. Want to help your friends underground, do you? Well, you won't fool me. I won't take a single step away from here, and if you keep talking nonsense, I'll have you strung up for treason. Where can I find Raymond? How should I know? The weasel can't have gone far. He turned invisible. He's probably hunkered down in some hole like the traitorous little rat he is. And he'll be sitting, trembling and waiting till he's dragged out of there. With the prelate after you, that seems the only sensible thing to do. That's what I'd do. I'm sure lots of things sound sensible to you. And it works too. As you can see, I'm still alive. I am tempted to attack him, but that's a bit too aggressively chaotic, I think. I have to go. Go on then, if you have to. It would be good if you could return with the head of that scum. Ember peers intently at Horan. I remember you. When Father and I arrived in this city, you met us. What is this gibberish? As if I have nothing better to do than to arrange meetings with vagrants. But it's true. You and the other knights tied us to stakes and started lighting the bonfire. Father died, and then one of your knights changed his mind and pulled me from the flames. But then he died too. Don't you remember? If you were burned, then it was with good reason. You say some traitor helped you escape from the fire? That is a crime in itself, which means that you have just been evading justice all these years. If it weren't for the invasion, I would review your case and see that your sentence was finally fulfilled. You're lucky that we have more important matters to deal with right now. He didn't look the way he does now, all wrinkled and grey. He was young, with a big moustache. Ember smiles broadly and draws a large bushy moustache in the air with her finger. He probably forgot all about me. It was a long time ago. But I do want to say one thing. I'm not cross with him. This knight is a true hero. He just really, really wanted to protect his city. Only you got all mixed up about who was good and who was evil. Holren, you sent an innocent child to be burnt at the stake. Don't you want to ask for forgiveness? Pah! Hardly. Anyone can look innocent. How did this girl manage to survive the fire? And what about that crow that's always flying around her? I advise you take a closer look at this innocent little lamb of yours. If you ask me, she looks highly suspicious indeed. You forgive him after what he did to you? He thought he was doing what was right. How do you know? Maybe you've done something, thinking it was a good thing, but you were really doing a bad thing that hurt someone. But what if I've done the same thing? You can't get angry at people for making mistakes when you might be no better than them. Let's go, Ember. Yes, let's go. Bye-bye, kind knight. She waves to Holren with a carefree smile. Holren grimaces and turns away. Yeah, Ember, maybe a little bit too forgiving, but you're very good-hearted.
Yet another obstacle.
So, this is the start of a sort of quest line that's very important for us, getting our Azata, starting the Azata path. I'll just deal with the... Oh, there's a lot of centipedes. I'll just deal with this combat for now. Oh, this might be a good... How'd that do? Yeah, it wasn't that great. But... Move up, Ember.
Surrender or
Finish that
else.
one. Yep, nice.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Yeah, so you might have seen some of the dialogue options where they say if you're not familiar with how the actually getting on the unique mythic paths work, there are certain options that are in dialogue or things like that that are labelled with like, oh, this requires the angel mythic path or the demon mythic path. Those are the only two we've had so far. And following those, it doesn't lock you in, but you do sort of need to follow them in order to get the one that you want. So for now I've been mostly picking the angel ones because we're still playing as a good guy. But really what we're looking for are the Azata ones.
I'll cut you wide open.
Which... given we need to help Raymond in order to start down that line.
Cover me. Too late for apologies.
You won't survive me.
Stories told to us by spirits. The Night with Harrowed Hands. Kenabris Medium Alliance Publishing. I'm not going to read that. There's enough reading in this game without reading every single book.
Always watch your back.
Raymond went off this way. This looks suspicious. The demon invasion transformed all of Kenabris into one great battlefield, but nowhere in the city suffered as much as this square. This place saw a clash of titans, the demon lord Discari leading his hordes from the abyss, and the dragon Terendelev, the mightiest of the city's defenders, and one of the first to fall. The scene of destruction leaves no doubt as to the battle's outcome. A skilled scout could recreate the course of the battle moment by moment simply by looking at the ruins. from the chimneys torn down by powerful wings in a sharp dive to the bloody tracks left behind when the demon dragged away the noble reptile's broken body. But it is no hypothetical scout gazing upon the ruins. It is Nest, and she is not alone. The shadow of a strange, barely perceptible presence lingers over this place, like a gaze untethered from any observer. This mysterious force unknown to mortal kind silently assesses, judges, and seeks a better way. In an instant, Nest is vested with this power and looks at the world with its eyes. The past, present, and future stand before her as a unified whole, an unmoving, multifaceted crystal that would be beautiful were it not for the fractures, blemishes, and flecks marring its splendour. What past does she see? In the past exists the one who wielded this gaze in life. Although the one and life are in opposite terms for aeons, the supernatural embodiments of cosmic balance, rather than who or what, a better word for these entities is how. This aeon appeared from outside this world, from the great beyond, to put an end to the intermingling of the planes and destroy the world wound, the chasm disrupting the order of the multiverse. Alas, the visitor from beyond proved too weak for the battle they came to fight. They even failed to finish casting the spell that would have sent Discari back to the abyss. With one swing of his scythe, the demon lord cut the aeon down. So some sort of extraterrestrial being showed up here to fight Discari. What present does she see? Ruins, blood, corpses. None of this perturbs the aeon's dispassionate gaze. The living are alive, the dead will be judged by Pharasma. All is as it should be. But the demons circling in the sky or prowling through the streets create a jarring juxtaposition, like splashes of blood-red ink on a restrained pencil sketch. They should not be here. The world of mortals is for mortals, the demon's place is in the demon world. How sublime the world would be if everything in it knew its place. But even demons aren't as abhorrent as the sharp-edged, unassuming crystal languishing in the dirt among the bricks and smashed cobblestones. No mortal would notice it, but to the Aeon's eyes, its mere existence is an outrage against universal laws. If the Aeon still existed, they would not stop until the crystal was unmade. But the Aeon is gone, and only their gaze remains. Nest picks the crystal up out of the dirt and stows it in her pocket. She is mortal, which means she has the power to decide what to do with it. What future does she see? Good and evil, chaos and order, everything is in its lawful place in the multiverse and is no longer trespassing where it does not belong. Nothing is disrupting the smooth and steady current of the river of souls from life into death and back to life again. The reality, rid of its flaws, is now perfect, and the Aeons withdraw to eternally admire its beauty, which will never be threatened again. After allowing the heroine to view the world through their eyes, the little that remained of the destroyed Aeon is killed, even appropriate here for an entity that is so removed from life and death as we understand them, used up its last vestiges of energy. Now they are ready to disperse into nothingness. Unless someone decides to preserve the Aeon within themselves, will the heroine take on it this power, so that she may look again at the world through another's eyes, or will she allow it to vanish? So yeah, this is what I was talking about in terms of mythic paths. Up to now we've seen only angel and demon, but this here is required for the Aeon path, which is not one I've ever really done. It's a very lawful focused one. So it's almost the polar opposite to what we're going for as the Azata, who's more of a force of chaos. So I will allow the Aeon's power to dissipate. Nest is not the kind of person who relies on any eyes but her own. The final traces of the Aeon's existence fade away, sending one last look of farewell at her, that piercing, unyielding gaze full of understanding of something significant, even as it takes that understanding with it into oblivion. So yeah, that's mysterious.
I won't let you hurt my friends.
Let's use ear-piercing scream on this guy. did not do much.
Endure this!
That did much more.
Stab their backs.
The light, take you!
Zap him. Oh wow, I actually did something. Let's try another ear-piercing scream on the cleric. Oh wow. Ulfric has been scared.
I'll hit you!
You didn't hit him. I'm sorry, Ember. Hate to let you down.
Make every strike count.
Lan, you're so reliable. Love it. It's arcane weapon enchantment.
Loot your corpse.
Let's make good on that promise. Loot their corpse. That armor might be good for Sealer, actually. She'd lose her dexterity bonus, but we gain 2 more extra armor. So yeah, it is an improvement to her armor class overall. So let's plate her up. It's hard to believe that this place recently held a bustling and festive market. I know. It's also hard to believe we survived falling into the chasm. Midnight Bolt. The owner of this bolt can shoot it to deal 50 points of damage that can't be ignored or reduced. This bolt cannot miss. So that's a pretty useful. That's one of those items that again it's so rare and almost too useful that you end up never using it. Or at least I don't. Let's give it to Lan though. Just on the off chance we decide that we will use it. Let's collect it all.
What's that glitter?
Incense, apprentice lockpick. Judging by the size of the bloodstain, the body of something truly enormous was dragged over these stones. Terendelev, most likely. Or Terendelev.
Save the last one for me.
Rats.
Cover me, all right?
Oh wow, lots of rats. Okay.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
It's alright, Warjiff is already infected with a disease, so... I'm less worried about him.
You won't stop us.
charge.
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
The spirits demand your blood.
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
You won't survive me.
These people weren't killed by demons, their mortal wounds were inflicted by ordinary weapons.
Careful now.
Hello? The absence of an answer is an answer too. Okay, good sir. It's mysterious.
That's easy.
Scrawny tiefling. Watch it, watch it. What are you goons doing? You'll bloody crush me. A young tiefling is lies trapped in a collapsed section of the tunnel. Another two tieflings scramble around, trying in vain to free him from the rubble. Quit whining. Hey, alarm, someone's coming. Maybe she'll help us. Wise up, would you, before you get us killed. Let's make a run for it while we still can. No, come on, don't leave me here, I'll die. Hey guys, so you're in a bit of a jam. Get a load of this lot. And no escort neither. Wooljiff, you little shit. How are you not dead yet? And who's that with you? They're friends of mine. Great guys. Wooljiff turns to you and out of the corner of his mouth says, Listen, do me a solid. Help them drag this sorry carcass free. They'll repay you, cross my heart. Yeah, of course. I'll help you pull him out from under the rubble. Oh, we failed a check. Clearing the rubble proves a bigger challenge than expected. By the time you finally free the trapped tiefling, you are ready to collapse with fatigue. Whew, I'm alive, and all in one piece, give or take. Thank you. I'll remember your kindness for the rest of my life. The freed tiefling turns to his companions. And you two clowns, I don't want to hear a word out of you. Get into the tunnel now. One trip, just to the Grey Garrison and back. Don't be a coward, it's not going to collapse. Go, or else we came all this way for nothing. That ended well, didn't it? Wished. Not now, talk later. The tiefling eyes you and elbows his chatty companion in the ribs, causing him to double over in pain. Everything's alright now? Sounds very suspicious to me. Come clean, who are you? Alright, don't hurt us. People call us the Thieflings. We kind of skirt around the edges of the law. That's how we make our living. Some tyrant bans books that show stuff we don't like, or fancy coin in wine he won't drink. Is it wrong if we step in to fill the gap in the market? If there's a demand for it, someone's gonna sell it. Don't go thinking we're gangsters or anything. Our only concern is making the lives of citizens easier for a little coin. People in the city can't even breathe without breaking some stupid regulation or restriction. Take this tunnel that collapsed on top of our friend, for instance. It leads straight to the Grey Garrison. Thanks to it, any soldier whose throat's feeling a little dry, or who's needing some nighttime reading material, can get all the things for him that his heartless superiors refuse to. We're providing a public service. I helped you. Now you can help me and Commander Tirabed to save Kenabris. The militia needs people with various skills, even ones as unusual as yours. You what? Are you blind or something? The tiefling points at his horns and his tail. Know what people call us? Arilu's spawn. That's one of the nicer nicknames. Crusaders and tieflings don't mix. We'll be torched on sight. Whoa, Tirabed? Irabeth Tirabed from the Eagle Watch? Lads, we have to help her. She's one of the only big shots in this town that actually treats us with any decency. Why should we risk our necks for the Crusaders? Because Irabeth risked her neck for ours. She saved me from that creep Holren. Yanked me straight out of his torture chamber. Only a worthless toe rag would refuse to help her out after that. Nah, I'm not listening to any of this. The tiefling makes a show of covering his ears. You do what you want. I'm heading for the River Kingdoms. Go on then, I'm with the Crusaders, and I'm going to round up the others to help, the tiefling smirks. You've made some good money in the city, it'd be a shame to surrender our meal ticket to the demons, but enough yammering, so long. Some more allies there. There's a guy down there. Oh yeah, we are all fatigued. Except for Ember and Camellia. They're not fatigued.
Precisely.
Can we retreat already?
How can we not do it because we're fatigued? Yeah. Alright.
Into the fray! The light take you!
Okay, I think we'll rest
Endure this!
following this fight, so let's just use whatever we want. Take a colour spray.
You are today's
Spirit
sacrifice!
weapon enchantment. Piercing scream. Smite evil.
The inheritor, guide my blade!
Perfect strike. Actually, know what, do extra attack as well.
Make every strike count!
Nice.
Distract them from me.
Go for their hearts!
Despite all the city's troubles, the statue of Iomedae towers proudly over the streets. Okay, there's a way down there. Let's take a rest. Okay, Wardrift's better here than there. Put Ember there, scroll. Well, okay, Ember's much better at scroll scribbling, but. Oh, yeah, we need to get the kind of kits and stuff for that to work anyway, don't we? They're the same. Oh, Wooljiff, you do camouflage then. You're much better at that. And then. Ness can do that. Actually, let's have Camellia do that, and then Ness can do alchemy. Hearty meal. Eating a hearty meal provides you with +1 cooking bonus and all skill checks for a day. Okay. More rest for a short period.
Fine, so you ate rats and moss and things like that. Well, once when there was nothing else to eat, my old gran stole a rotten fish from the market and made a soup with it. What do you make of that, eh?
You get that this isn't a competition, right?
Continue. Sometimes a long-awaited rest does not bring the desired relief. What comes is a heavy, clinging sleep on the edge of wakefulness, where consciousness seems poised between reality and oblivion. The possible reasons for such disturbed slumber are myriad: strained nerves, perhaps, or a lingering reaction to trauma. Nest emerges from the oblivion of her leaden sleep like a drowning woman dragging herself up from the depths of a swamp. The wound on her chest is burning like someone pressed an invisible brand to it. The wound is closed again, but the blood stain on her shirt betrays its presence beneath. There's no time to investigate the cause of her malaise. A trying day lies ahead. But how will Ness be up to the challenge if her thoughts are so muddled and her entire body aches like after a day's toil? Nonsense, I'll douse myself in some cold water and I'll be good as new. As if a veteran adventurer could be frightened by a bad dream, a splash of cold water enlivens her senses and the weariness abates, retreating to the depths of her subconscious, but leaving the path open to return the next time Nest seeks refuge in sleep. Nest recalls that she slept peacefully in the defender's heart. Perhaps a priest can explain what's happened.
Always watch your back.
Perhaps so. I want to go find Raymond. There was a mobility check over here, right? Let's have a pop.
You asked me.
This is not my time.
Excruciating.
Oh god. That didn't work at all. Now everyone's on death's door. Okay. That is not the effect I was expecting there. Use until fully healed. Can I use? Use until fully healed. Oh, it's annoying that we just rested before that happened. Oh god. Well, all of our healings potions have been used, making up for that. These corpses were gnawed to the bone by ghouls, whose teeth was likely the cause of death.
Time to rob them of their treasures.
Oh, whoops. Well, you joined the fight quick.
You crossed the wrong mongrel.
Into the fray!
I'll cut you wide open.
I'm not sure why Seela was trying to lay hands on them. Use your arcane weapon enchantment. Give yourself an extra attack.
You won't survive me.
Seela, stop trying to lay hands on others, especially when they're not friendly. feels like a bit of a bug if she's just obsessed with trying to heal. She needs to attack, not heal then.
The spirits demand your blood!
Time to share your treasures.
Surrender, or else!
Endure that.
Careful now. No reason to pause.
That reminds me. I have a masterwork light crossbow, don't I? Yeah, I'll give that to Emma, because it's slightly better than the one she's got. Claw of Jiska. That is a lot more damage. This finesse wielding. I'll keep it with that. For now.
Pretty good, aren't I?
These people were not killed by demons, their mortal wounds were inflicted by ordinary weapons. Adopt. Oh, a tiger. Or it's a cat, isn't it? +2 morale bonus on perception and law nature checks. Okay, come here. You can have a cat. Hear me, take heed. The hordes of the Abyss march on Kenabris. The Wardstone is their target. They must not be allowed to capture it. The consequences will be disastrous. It's coming in a little late. Oh. Hello. The golden curled Asamar greets you with a graceful bow. So you found me. I have nowhere else to run. I am at your mercy. Kill me if you wish, but I ask you, hear me out first. Did you really know about the demon attack before it happened? I did. We have a secret ally in the enemy's ranks. No one knows who this brave soul is, but she has been feeding us information about the demon's plans. These dispatches have come to us by the most reliable channel bestowed upon us by the great dreamer herself. They have come to us in dreams. Prelate Halrin brushes them off as meaningless reveries, and, well, I admit that it's not always easy to distinguish our allies' messages from ordinary dreams. But even ordinary dreams are a gift from Desna and are always worthy of attention. The Prelate, and all the Crusader leaders for that matter, should have put less store in reason and more in intuition, inspiration, and spontaneity. What's more, not long before the attack on the city, a blind elf who calls himself the Storyteller arrived in Kenabris. This wanderer wasn't merely a collector of legends, but a scholar of the unknown. According to him, the Wardstone in our city, the first and most important in the chain of Wardstones, weakened since long ago, was teetering on the brink of corruption. It seems that the Red Morning Massacre and other demon attacks, even the ones we fended off, did not leave us unscathed. Unfortunately, the prelate did not wish to listen to the storyteller either. We're lucky he wasn't burned at the stake as a heretic. We had such vital information on our hands, information that could have saved the city, but no one cared to listen all the way to the catastrophic end. Tell me about the strange rituals that you were going to perform on the Wardstone. Raymond looked slightly abashed. When my attempts to open Halrin's eyes ended in failure, a few of my young adepts resolved to take matters into their own hands. They did not consult me before doing so, but I I have never demanded iron discipline from my priests. Army commanders may have subordinates, but I have pupils and fellow worshippers. I can only inspire them, I cannot command them. And it seems they are inspired all on their own. In other words, you get to preach whatever you want, and you don't have to take any responsibility for your flock. You've really got it made. For pity's sake, how can I be held responsible for the actions of others? These are not children we are discussing here, they are grown adults endowed with their own free will, praised the goddess. Of course we all help one another, but in the final reckoning, each of us decides how we will act, and each must answer for those choices. They had no ill intent, they only wished to access the wardstone in secret to try and cleanse it. But to Holren this became perform a suspect ritual after hearing even more suspect voices in their dreams. The children wanted to save their city, but the Inquisitors detained them and almost killed them. I had to intervene. I used my authority and my power as a cleric to give them a chance to flee. If they hadn't got away, they were destined for a cell in the prelate's dungeons and quite likely death. Not all dreams have benign origins. What if those dreams were sent by demons? In a different time and place, someone perhaps could have become the victim of false dreams sent by monsters. But here, in the war with the Abyss, the goddess is keeping a close eye on her most faithful followers. I have no doubt that if a demon tried to intrude upon the dreams of any one of us, Desna's punishment would have been swift. Why are you and Holren feuding? Oh, I'm not feuding with him. I sincerely wish only the best for the man. In an ideal world, he'd be far away from the front lines, enjoying a peaceful retirement. But even if that isn't possible, I have always tried to help him fulfill the mission he has taken upon himself, and to which he has proven fatally ill-suited, protecting Kenabris against the demons. Unfortunately, he is convinced that the followers of Desna are heretics and saboteurs. He refused to listen to me, and it was only the knightly orders that deterred him from including us in his witch hunt. Now there is clearly no one left to stand in his way. He is finally free to get rid of us once and for all. Is there a chance you can resolve your conflict? I don't know. Holren's faith is truly formidable, not only his faith in Iomedae, but in his own infallibility. In other words, he's as hard-headed as a rock troll, but even so, Desna teaches us never to lose hope. Talk to him, try to explain that we are fighting on the same side. If he attacks you, disarm him, bind his hands, but I beg you, if at all possible, please do not kill him. Why haven't you left this place for somewhere safer? Because people might need help, and they will come to the temple in search of a priest. I will not hide away in a hole saving my own neck while Kenabris is full of people suffering in the wake of the demons attacked. Yeah, we're not going to attack him, and we're not going to killing Holren. I have to go. Wait! 3 of my adepts are hiding somewhere in the ruins of the city, the ones the Inquisitors wrongly accused of treason. I beg you, find them and protect them against the demons and vigilantes like Holren. They will not rest until they find them. If there is anything else you can do to save Kenabris, please do it. Ilks. Stranger, wait! You spared Raymond despite what that mad Inquisitor told you. The young voice comes from nowhere. Oh, hang on, I forgot to remove the spell. I hope Holren's dogs aren't lurking nearby. A pale youth materializes before you. His face looks haggard from lack of sleep, but he is clearly pleased to be speaking to someone. So you're one of the Desna adepts that tried to break into the wardstone? Yes, I am Ilks, cleric of Desna, and one of the people who answered the call of the voice in dreams. Some unknown person made contact with us through our dreams, telling us about the demons' plans. We learned that the demons were planning to attack Kenabris and do something terrible to our wardstone, which already carries the taint of corruption. Prelate Holren refused to heed our warnings. We had to make a choice. We could either throw up our hands and pull back, or take action. And even though it could cost us our lives, but what heartless person could stand by in the face of such a deadly threat? What were you planning to do to the wardstone? The young man hesitates. Our plan was to get to it, and then follow our instincts. There were 3 of us, a cleric, a mage, and a bard. Between us we know a lot, we're capable of a great deal. If we'd had enough time, I'm sure we could have figured out what was wrong with the wardstone and how to heal it, but they didn't give us time. Yes, the local commanders got roped into dealing with this. Some idiot kids trying to break into the wardstone, apparently some of ours. But who even knows these days? Seela sighs. I know there's no evil in you, I can sense things like that, but what you did was so stupid and impulsive, someone could have got hurt. I know from experience. So you lot decided that you needed to do something right away, so you did something right away. Great work. Lan gives a sarcastic round of applause. Like the city authorities would have done a better job. They weren't going to do a thing, even though it sounds like they knew about the danger. All they knew was that some crazies had some weird dreams. But anyway, it's a little late to be trying to pin blame on people. How did you even come up with such a plan? How could we not come up with that plan? You sense the young man's temper rising. Listen, Desna is the goddess of luck, but luck as many lay people would understand it. And luck as we, the followers of the music of spheres, see it, are far from the same thing. Other people believe that luck is something good that falls into your lap just because, like a generous and unearned reward. We see luck as a fundamental law of creation, according to which even in the darkest hour of our most hopeless situation, a chance of rescue and chance for the better can arise. But you've got to seize this chance when it presents itself, or better yet, create your own. Followers of Desna are not people who like idleness and inaction. That's why when Kenabris was in trouble, we did as our goddess had taught us. We took the matter into our own hands and tried in a moment of desperation to pluck our chance from the hands of fate itself. You were trying to help. Can they punish you if you were trying to help? Is that allowed? Sometimes it's even necessary. How could a zealot like Holren become the respected defender of Kenabris? His faith is strong, incredibly strong. The people of the city have seen him fighting on the front lines time after time. I myself remember feeling dumbstruck the first time I saw that gruff old man slaying demons in a fit of righteous fury. The people living on the edge of the abyss need protecting more than anything else, and that's why they are prepared to forgive their protector almost anything, even prejudice, paranoia, and the death of innocence. Also, Holren hasn't always been as brutal as he used to be for a long time. Holren hasn't been as brutal as he used to be for a long time. Holren hasn't been as brutal as he used to be. That's a weird way of saying that. He has his loyal right-hand man, Leota, known as Hawkblade. He's a witch hunter too, and a good deal more rational and even-tempered. Holren trusts him completely, and Leota always conducts a thorough investigation before dragging a victim to the fire. It's our bad luck that Leota left Kenabris in pursuit of some particularly vicious hags 2 weeks before the attack. If he were here, he wouldn't have let Holren attack Raymond. On the other hand, if he were here, we wouldn't have escaped after trying to get to the wardstone. We'd all be in a cell right now. Whose voice have you been hearing in your dreams? Nobody knows what it is, but everyone who has heard her, I should say, is convinced that she's a good and pure soul chosen by Desna. We had a choice. We could trust her, accept that we have an ally somewhere who isn't afraid of all the armies of the Abyss, or we could drown in suspicion and get one step closer to becoming just like Holren. We decided to trust the voice, and seeing Kenabris devastated, which is what our unknown ally tried to prevent until the very end, I can see now who had truth on their side. Where are your fellow worshippers, and how many of them are there? Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know where they are. We split up to confuse the Inquisitors who were chasing us. Do you need help? Desna teaches us to trust in last-ditch chances. Listen, my friends are called Araka and Thol the Wallflower. Anaka is an amazing singer and a truly beautiful girl. She has plenty of friends and fans. She's probably blended into a crowd somewhere. Wallflower is a mage, and I don't think he'll risk using magic. It will only bring the Inquisitors down on him. He'll be harder to find. You'd better find Aranka first. She might know where Wallflower is. Please find them and protect them against the demons and the Inquisitors. I will await news in the Goddess's temple. I hope our mysterious helper will send us a new message that will reveal what is to come from the demons. I have to go. Go, may Desna be with you, stranger. I found one of them, Raymond.
That's easy. If there's gold, it's mine.
I've got booze buried around the back of their temple. I can respect that. let's do
I
some
heed the
buffing.
voice of the spirits.
So, false life.
Tashani Savitu.
That gives you an extra kind of bumper of health. Full strength. Let's give that to Sina.
Limos Radisi. Everything has a price.
Into the house.
Can't hide from me.
This is my kind of work.
Precisely.
A journal about an experiment. Experiment day 1. Today I was able to catch a quasit. Aurori be my witness. It wasn't easy, considering my humble physical condition. Luckily it was a scrawny specimen, about 7 pounds, with a wingspan of about 2 1/3 feet. When it awoke, the quasit first tried to attack me, and then ruin my clothes with its caustic saliva. Experiment day 3. I have begun my linguistics research. My goal is to study the language of quasits. I'm quite convinced that they have their own dialect. Though through understanding their speech, I will be able to understand their way of thinking and convince them to rebel against their lord's tyranny. A revolution will roll through the abyss, and the powerless will rebel against their oppressors. I'm sure that Everblue Milani will not refuse her patronage even to such creatures as these, if they would break their chains of slavery. Unfortunately, progress is thus far insignificant. I've been able to catalogue only 2 words, which I suspect must mean rend and carrion. The quasit formed both words quite vividly when commenting on my person. While I was entering this record... Where's it gone? While I was entering this... Oh my... Ugh, okay. While I was entering this record, the quasit managed to steal my watch and throw it into the chamber pot. Judging by his spiteful giggling, he's quite delighted about his little joke, and despite the naughty trick, I am somewhat glad. Jokes and pranks are a part of cognitive communication, which I fully intend to establish with the specimen. I grow more and more convinced that I made the right decision in leaving Absalon and Foray Logos, the so-called wise house. More like narrow-minded fools stuck in the past, under the sway of their ringleader, the chatterbox, the fool of fools, Julibos Nathropol. They've never appreciated the progressive nature of my theories. Day 4. Today the quasit almost bit my nose off while I fed him. In response, to my shame, I beat him with a wand. Such behaviour toward a sentient being is unacceptable, and I repent deeply. I've also run out of meat. The specimen and I will have to make do with porridge and soup. 6. It's been 3 days since the specimen switched to a vegetarian diet. At first the quasit refused to eat plant-based food, but then ate some cabbage soup and poked at the porridge with his claw. His face looked so tragic. Day 7. The specimen has completely lost all signs of aggression. At dawn I was awoke by his moaning. The quasit was rolled up in a ball in a corner, whimpering. Despite his dangerous appearance, it's quite impossible not to feel compassion towards the poor creature. I had to take prompt measures and give the specimen a laxative potion. The quasit now reacts to me with confusion and fear, but at least it's not suffering anymore. His gastrointestinal tract must have reacted unhappily to the unfamiliar diet. Day 10. What a great day! The switch to a completely plant-based diet is complete. The theory that quasits can eat only meat and carrion have been disproven. My eternal opponent, Sir Jubilos, will have to go drown himself in a river. The quasit has become peaceful and easygoing. He no longer tries to eat my boots or the feet inside them. The specimen's behaviour has become gentle and friendly. He shows some interest in ball games and physical exercises. I have named him Pekka. Today he initiated communication and attempted to explain a new word to me. By all evidence, he was making up the word during the communication process, for there has never been such a word in the quasit language. The meaning, as I understand it, is safety, comfort, and calm. I see no further need to keep Pekka on his chain. This experiment has convinced me that the vicious and evil traits attributed to quasits are acquired habits, not natural or inherent to their nature. Over these days, I have really grown fond of him, and by all evidence, Pekka likes me too. He's gotten used to napping on my knee while I'm writing my observations in my journal. Maybe someday this quasit will become my familiar. The current stage of the experiment is complete. Pekka and I are soon off to Absalom to present our findings before the professor at Foray Logos and become a scientific sensation. On our way, we may make a small detour to Avestan so that Pekka will have a chance to better adapt to civilization. I hope the little trickster enjoys the journey. Was he being had? Or has he actually made a
Always watch your back.
important discovery? Well, there's a body there.
I will not be trifled with.
Together we stand. They will break against our resolve.
Oh. Shadow Demon. Okay. Seems worthy of the best.
Make every strike count.
Cover me, all right?
See, I knew this was, like I said, why is Seela...
The light.
Why is Seela locked into laying hands? That is not a good bug.
You are today's sacrifice.
See, I knew this thing was here, but I thought the only way you could reveal it is with the
Too
see
late
invisibility
for
thing,
apologies.
which I didn't have. And then when I activated Light of Heaven, I was actually trying to just do a normal light, but it's a happy accident. It is perfect striking.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Enchant your weapon. It's gonna be immune to electricity, right?
Your death awaits.
Yep, immune to electricity. Is it immune to...
Cover me.
Can I make it fatigue? Looks like it. Hello, Georgie. My cat's come to join in.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Okay, why is... Oh. Oh, okay. I think I'd accidentally defaulted it. Good to know. it's
The
not like
inheritor,
that.
guide my blade.
Yeah, turn on Spirit Enchantment.
Go for their hearts.
This thing is tough. And we're all nearly dead. Using a piercing scream. It's not very good at piercing scream, I don't think.
You won't survive me.
Got it. Oh yeah, so it does give you a scroll of seeing busy, and so there is a kind of way of figuring it out.
Hesitation is a waste of time.
Light of the Angels. I just want regular light.
Lead on.
Clear the blockage.
Well, this didn't go well.
Oh, okay.
Just don't blame me. This is my kind of work.
Ooh, nice. Lan, I got you a treat. Wicked longbow. Whenever this +2 composite longbow confirms a critical hit on an enemy, the target must pass a will saving throw or suffer a curse. Yeah, definitely give that to Lan. These fires must have been caught off guard. They were ambushed.
Rely on me.
Slightly down.
Heartbeat quickens.
Oh. Maybe Horan wasn't too crazy to guard the hold. There are ghouls under here.
Distract them for me.
Endure this!
Stab their backs.
I'll cut you wide open. I'll hit you.
No glory without risk.
I think we'll just talk to this guy and then I'm going to take a break. Curl. A short, hooded figure is poking around about some bodies lying in the middle of the street. The stranger drags the first body off the road, respectfully prods it up against the wall and places the corpse's hands on its chest. The figure then freezes as if hesitating, and you see him reach out his hands towards the beautiful gold amulet hanging around the corpse's neck. He jerks his hand back, hesitates, then reaches out again. Hey, who are you and what are you doing here? The stranger almost jumps out of his skin and the hood falls from his head. Under a mop of red curls, a round halfling face looks up at you. Oh, phew, I thought you were demons. Good day to you, a good lady. Georgie. Out of the way. Sealer's eyebrows lift in apparent recognition. Curl, is that you? The halfling looks at Sealer and smiles broadly. Oh, Lady Sealer, you're alive. Goodness me. That's the second bit of good news on an otherwise lousy day. What was the first bit of good news? Stick around and see for yourself. Do you know this person, Sealer? Meet Rimvi, better known as Curl. He hails from Kenabris and he fights in the Condemned. He's one of a kind, a rogue with a heart of gold. Sealer smiles, then adds a little more seriously. Curl, it's probably none of my business, but you should ask yourself if what you're about to do is right. The halfling's cheeks flush and he hides his hands behind his back. I just thought... Oh, it doesn't matter. Can you tell me anything useful about what's going on in the city? I'm afraid not, good lady. I just left the Defender's Heart. Before that, I was holed up in there, too scared to leave. Although spending all that time under Commander Irabeth's nose sure was something. She's a strict one, whew, and when she gets antsy. Don't even start. I've had enough of her breathing down my neck for it to last me a lifetime. So what are you doing here, robbing corpses? No, the halfling protests. Rimvi Curl may be a rogue, but he doesn't loot corpses. I just need to get these poor lads' bodies off the road. My friends and I are on a terribly important mission, and we need to get through. He is interrupted by the sound of wheels rolling on the paving stones. A cart drawn by a sad little horse appears from around the corner. A pretty half-elf is driving it, and a young man in knight's armour is walking alongside. Even from a distance you can see his tanned face and his blue eyes shining brightly. The halfling straightens up. See, a terribly important and very heroic mission. My friends and I are saving a beer cart from the demons. As he's speaking, the newcomers notice you, and the knight cries out in jubilation. Seela, I never thought I'd see you again. I thought you were headed to the main square, the centre of the demons' attack. The half-elf smiles warmly at Seela. Hey friend, glad to see you're alright. When we got separated by the crowd at the celebration, I knew right away that something was wrong. And when demons appeared all of a sudden, I realised what was the reason why I'd been so anxious. But I couldn't find you among the dead in the square, so I kept my hopes up, and I was proven right. Seela's face lights up with joy. So you're the other bit of good news Curl was talking about. You and Jana are alive. Actually, by good news, I meant that we found the beer cart. Sir Elan and Jana being alive amounts to a quarter of a bit of good news. Well, maybe half. A beer cart? How about sharing with us? I'm sure we could all do with a drink. The half-elf winks rakishly. Certainly, give me your flask, friend, and if you walk with us to the Defender's Heart, we can have a more thorough sampling of the spoils there. Despite the cheerful tone, she looks at you with anxious hope. Jana, there's no need. The heart is very close, and the three of us will be enough to fight off an attack if there is one. Besides, our friend here surely has better things to do, more important things than carrying barrels of beer, I'll wager. By the way, my name is Elaine, Sir Elan of the Houndhearts. I'm glad to meet someone who survived this madness. You haven't told me how you know Seela. I'll save that story till we're all back at the Defender's Heart. You're going back there, aren't you? We'll have a reason to toast to our spoils. I'm not going to throw Curl under the bus. I have to go. So long. We're sure to meet again, either in the city or at the Defender's Heart. Sure you will. Come to the tavern. We'll celebrate the valiant rescue of this barrel together. So that's one side quest sorted. We were sent to look for her. Going to immediately do the thing that the game was trying to make me criticise. Curl for? It's like, oh, you shouldn't be looting corpses. Like, well, we've been looting tons of corpses on this adventure. So sweet is to kill. Oh dear. Demons are raising the dead.
We draw the first blood.
Make every strike count.
You won't stop us.
Why her movement is so low? Maybe I just need to put more points into mobility. Acid splash. Missed.
You've crossed the wrong line.
Done. Oh, some much needed health potions after the amount we had to chug.
This was simple enough.
Grey hair, ashen skin. This person fell prey to a Nabashu. This demon sucks the very life essence from you and turns you into a ghoul, I think it was going to say.
You ask me.
Well, I am helpful, am I not?
Yeah, sure. You are helpful. At least for now. Oh, zombies, eh?
That's easy. They dare threaten me.
That's a few zombies.
Time to share your treasures.
Just risk attack of opportunity there because this is too tempting not to take.
You won't survive me.
Stupid zombie.
I'll loot your corpse.
The light take you!
The spirits demand your blood.
Cover me, all right?
Surrender or else.
Endure this!
Very good. Whereabouts even are we?
Precisely. They should have known better.
Well, these guys popped in out of nowhere.
Stab you or zap
Would
you?
you?
Why not both?
Oh yeah, good decapitation.
Did I mess up again?
Make every strike count.
Too late for apologies. You are today's sacrifice.
The inheritor, guide my blade!
Ah, next to the line. Where's the scrap of paper? Aha.
Save the last one for me.
Abracadillo.
I'll hit you.
Distract them for me.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
We're getting close to finishing exploring this whole area. Here's some of it.
Go for their hearts.
Oh yeah, this is where we made the bridge, and there was the athletics mobility check there, wasn't it? Townsfolk's bodies have been mutilated beyond recognition by claws and fangs. Let's go see who's making a noise under here. Rumbledum the actor. Even the huge pile of junk isn't enough to block out the exclamations coming from beneath it. Revel, O dearest darling beauty of mine, why didst thou turn thy... Oh. Why didst thou turn thy gaze on me? Pray tell. Thy husband I called friend at time, but love 'tis like an ocean, friendship a well. But Willis, how are we to live, my sweet? Booms a deep masculine voice in response from beneath the same pile. Indistinct rustling follows. Pass me the ale, will you? Hey, who's there? The pile of junk seems to shake. A stage whisper drifts up from below. Granny, let's not answer. Methinks those demons be cooling down, trying to trick us. In that case, there's nothing for us to do but accept our fate. Madam, demon or not, we are actors from the finest theatre in Kenabris, the next door theatre. We are trapped in the cellar during our rehearsal. Wait, what? We're trapped in here? I thought we barricaded ourselves in here, away from the demons, deliberately. If you don't nap through the start of every rehearsal, Master Ken, you would be better informed. The ensuing exchange degenerates into a stream of unintelligible bickering. Move the junk. The pile shifts easily, revealing an entrance to some kind of cellar. There is an interesting looking chest among some of the items. Nice. Ken, the Soundmaster. Look, the door is open, and now we are completely at the mercy of whatever's up there, if it really is a demon. We have nothing to fear. We have the power of inspiration after all. But hand me over that ladle, and that rolling pin. Grandma Gretlin, the director. Now look, it's not a demon at all. Greetings, kind friend and rescuer. I am Grandma Gretlin, theatre director, and these are the members of my company. Granny, that's not a ladle. It's one of the props for the Malevolent Lich performance, the one Tiana made. It's a scepter or something. She made it out of a ladle. She wanted to use a broom handle, but I put paid to that daft idea, says the dwarf with dignity. Oh, I've seen your show. You are very funny, especially your play where the woman slowly climbs into the chair while singing and then falls off again. Ember claps her hands in delight. Well, it is actually a great tragedy about unrequited love. The chair, you see, it represents a tower of rock rising above the raging sea like the finger of a giant, and the woman, she isn't supposed to fall, but rather gracefully cascade into the swirling abyss below, just like I showed her 100 times. But I'm glad you liked it. What were you doing down there? We were rehearsing. Our art distracts us from our fear and panic. The dwarf waves her ladle emphatically, doing a fair impression of a conductor. Really? When I'm scared, I eat. We tried that too, but our supplies ran out. But art is eternal. Can you get somewhere safe? Oh, don't worry on our account. We'll be going to our basement in the next street. That's where our lambkin is. We're not afraid of demons with a lambkin around. Lambkin? Lambkin, says the dwarf readily. Our male lead. He'll protect us, don't worry. We know what we're doing. I have to go. Thank you again for rescuing us, stranger. Today you did a great service for Mendevian culture, and perhaps the culture of all Galarian. You will certainly be remembered in future eras as the one who saved the critically and publicly acclaimed Next Door Theatre. Well, now that we've achieved that really essential goal, that really the highest of stakes there, I think I'm gonna take a break for now, and when we come back we will continue looking for the adepts of Desna and exploring Kenabris. See ya.